Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking and game-changing moments in the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine. Reports are flooding in that Russians are fleeing Crimea as Ukrainian forces launch what many are calling their most daring and strategic wave of revenge attacks. Yet, the peninsula that Russia once declared untouchable is now trembling under a storm of explosions, air raids, and panic. Crimea, once seen as a symbol of Russian pride, is now becoming the symbol of fear and retreat. What we're witnessing is not just another battle. It's a historic shift in the power dynamics of this war. From the outside, the situation looks tense and chaotic. Images and videos from the region show long convoys of cars and buses heading toward the Crimean bridge, desperate to cross into mainland Russia. The once crowded streets of Sevastopol and Simferopol are now filled with sirens, military trucks, and frightened civilians. Smoke can be seen rising from military installations across the peninsula after precision strikes from Ukrainian forces hit ammunition depots, air defense systems, and command centers. The Russian military, which once claimed to have complete control over Crimea, is struggling to maintain its grip. Explosions echo through the night. Air defense systems light up the skies, and panic spreads among soldiers and civilians alike. The peninsula that was once heavily fortified has suddenly become a vulnerable target zone, revealing the cracks in Russia's once boasted military shield. Inside Crimea, the atmosphere has changed dramatically. Russian-installed officials are packing up and evacuating their families as fears of Ukrainian advances grow stronger. Residents describe a growing sense of unease with electricity blackouts, fuel shortages, and restricted communications becoming common. Many areas are under partial lockdown as authorities try to maintain order, but rumors and fear travel faster than any official message. The once busy tourist resorts are deserted, and checkpoints have multiplied, making it clear that the region is now operating under a state of emergency. The local population, who once felt protected under Russian control, now finds themselves caught in uncertainty, fearing both Ukrainian missiles from above and the chaos of an uncontrolled retreat on the ground. Ukraine's recent operations have shown remarkable performance and strategic precision. Over the past few weeks, Ukrainian forces have intensified their campaign to weaken Russian defenses, targeting supply chains, fuel depots, and transportation hubs deep inside Crimea. Using a combination of long-range missile strikes, naval drones, and advanced Western-supplied weapons, Ukraine has managed to disrupt key Russian operations and logistics. What's particularly impressive is Ukraine's ability to strike with accuracy while maintaining psychological pressure. Each explosion in Crimea is not just physical damage, but also a powerful message to Moscow. No territory under occupation is safe anymore. Ukrainian intelligence, working closely with Western partners, has turned the tide of battle by identifying weak points in Russia's defense systems. This coordinated effort is proof that Ukraine is evolving into a more organized, technologically capable force that can challenge Russia even in heavily fortified areas. The Russian military's performance, on the other hand, is showing signs of exhaustion and disarray. Despite deploying advanced air defense systems like the S-400, Russia is failing to intercept many of Ukraine's long-range strikes. Soldiers stationed in Crimea are reportedly demoralized, facing supply shortages and communication breakdowns. The image of the Russian army as an unstoppable power is fading fast as Ukraine continues to strike key assets with bold precision. The once powerful Black Sea Fleet is now retreating, relocating ships and command posts farther east to avoid destruction. For Russia, every withdrawal is an admission of vulnerability. And for Ukraine, every successful strike is a symbol of growing confidence and revenge. The safety situation across Crimea has reached a critical level. Thousands of civilians are on the move, rushing to evacuate before the conflict escalates further. Roads leading north are jammed with vehicles, many carrying only the essentials as families abandon their homes. Hospitals are overcrowded and access to medical supplies is becoming limited. Air raid sirens sound almost daily, and shelters are filled with anxious residents. Despite Russia's claims that they are protecting civilians, videos and eyewitness reports suggest otherwise. People are left to fend for themselves as the occupying authorities prioritize military assets over human safety. Ukraine insists that its strikes are focused on military targets, but in such a densely populated region, collateral damage is inevitable. For the people of Crimea, safety is now a distant dream, replaced by the harsh reality of living in a war zone. What makes this moment so unique is that Crimea, for the first time since 2014, is no longer a secure stronghold for Russia. This shift carries both symbolic and strategic significance. Symbolically, Crimea represented Russia's pride and power, the crown jewel of Putin's expansion. Losing control or facing attacks here shatters the illusion of permanent dominance. Strategically, Crimea is a vital hub for Russia's southern military operations. It connects supply lines, naval bases, and air defenses. By striking Crimea, Ukraine isn't just hitting a target, it's striking the heart of Russia's war infrastructure. This operation shows Ukraine's ability to move beyond defense and take the fight directly to occupied territory. It also sends a global message that no matter how powerful an aggressor may seem, determination and smart strategy can change the course of war. The price of this campaign, however, is immense. Both nations are paying heavily. Russia in terms of lost military assets, soldiers, and global credibility, and Ukraine in terms of resources, destruction, and civilian suffering. Each missile launch costs millions, and each destroyed depot means another setback for an already strained economy. But for Ukraine, the moral victory outweighs the financial cost. Every successful strike brings them closer to reclaiming their land and restoring national pride. For Russia, the price is humiliation and the slow collapse of control over territories it once believed were permanently theirs. The longer this continues, the more evident it becomes that holding Crimea may no longer be sustainable for Moscow. The future of Crimea now hangs in the balance. If Ukraine continues its pace and receives consistent support from Western allies, the peninsula could face a major shift in control. But this scenario also comes with risks of escalation, as Russia may retaliate with more aggressive strikes elsewhere. The international community is watching closely, aware that any significant change in Crimea could redefine the entire course of the war. What's unfolding now is not just a local conflict, but a historic transformation with global implications. Crimea has become the central stage where revenge, strategy, and survival collide. In conclusion, the scenes of Russians fleeing Crimea mark a major turning point in this brutal war. Ukraine's revenge is not driven by anger, but by calculation and persistence. The precision of their strikes, the boldness of their tactics, and the psychological impact on Russian forces reveal a new phase of warfare. For Russia, the dream of permanent control over Crimea is slipping away faster than expected. For Ukraine, this moment represents hope, resilience, and the promise of reclaiming what was once lost. The world is witnessing history unfold, a once invincible stronghold turning into a symbol of retreat. The echoes of explosions across Crimea are more than just the sound of war. They are the sound of change, and perhaps the beginning of the end for Russia's grip on the peninsula.